Hey guys, and yeah, welcome to my second live stream video cheaty thing of the week. Yeah, basically, so my week in Helsinki, my week in Finland's come to an end, and so it's time for me to fly back to the UK. And as before, I'll be timing this flight with the one I'm doing in the real world, so should be a bit of fun. This, fingers crossed, the flight itself should also be decent. So yeah, go through the basic start up and get everything ready to go. And during the flight as well, talk about my week, what I've done, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I am in a great mood right now. Like I have to say, it's been a great week for me. Probably up there, one of my best, if not the best week I've had ever. So yeah, a bit of fun to talk about that. So let's quickly clear that. Quickly clear those. Cool. So let's go for the initial flight plan. Going from Hotel Kilo, going from Helsinki to Heathrow. Golf Lima Lima. I will have to load up company routes just to make it easier, so it'll be the top one. Alternative is Manchester, so Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. Flight number is Speedbird 0795. Plug that in, align IRS, cost next 15, cruising at 340. Perfect. Next page. I will be setting that up now as well. So ToLiss, I see a screen. Man, what's wrong with me? And so wait, today it's how many passengers we actually have on board, and how much fuel do we have? So it's 9751. 9752, that's basically perfect. That's gonna stay the same. Cool, so it's actually no, that goes down to 111 I believe. So you go to that, apply. So it's 295553, 29.5 slash 55.3. And block was 975. 0.75. Cool. Flight plan. Departure. I should go through the actual plan itself. So, see which runway is actually for departure as well today. That'll be probably quite important to know. And while I'm here, is there anyone online as well I need to speak to? So if I go to see who's online, answer is no one. It's completely dead today. So let's close that again. And as for the departure runway, that shall be runway. So we arrived on 15 last time. On grounds, I want arrivals. I want to see the map, not that. Basically, if I can get an idea of which runway they're landing on, departing on, I can basically guess that from the wind, which I actually need to set the displays for quickly as well. Turn the brightness up on these. And then, once that's done, two down here as well. And as for Helsinki, the arrival runway is, well, they're arriving on 15 again. And aircraft are departing seemingly on whatever that is left. Let's go to departure 04 left. Is it? Yes, northern heading 1, so 04 left. Let's double check that Sid. If not, then see if I can use that one. Nunto, Absa, Enkids. don't think that is our SID for today. Let's insert it. Yeah, there is discontinuity. Okay, so we won't use the SID today. Just clear that and then fly heading until we make a turn onto the actual flight path itself. So 04 left onto Nunto. Cool. That's all plugged in. Again, if I had an actual live frequency, I'd be able to have a chat with Tao and make sure I know what I'm doing. Set this to 34,000. And heading speed we can do in a moment. Let's now go through takeoff. So, perf. Let's go through the V speeds. Flaps 1 again. And it'll be 135, 149, 151. Flex 69. So 69, 134, 149. 69, 134, 149. There's 15. Whoops, and out of range. Oh right, sorry. 149. Did it wrong way around for some reason. There you go. 151. Plug you in, and it'll be 1/-1 for the flaps and upwind. That is takeoff sorted. Flight plan also now sorted. And everything else we can now then do once we are in the air. So I'll now start up the APU. Make sure all comms are turned on. Turn on the logo lights as well while I'm down here. 4 minutes till the IRS lines. So 4 minutes of just waiting time on the ground at the moment. I guess 4 minutes just to look around Helsinki airports and the well, this is all default scenery. I should go through the weather as well. So .wx echo foxtrot hotel kilo. I can't actually type today ever. Right, so QNH 1017. Both sides. Clouds, winds 23 at 1 knot, so winds aren't too bad for me today. That's fine. And okay, yeah, so everything's basically fine for me. Nothing out of the ordinary. Takeoff should be fairly simple. And so once we do take off, we'll be alright. Otherwise, yeah, literally now just waiting for the IRS line. And again, I can skip it if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to. And everything else, if we switch over to APU generator now, so APU bleed on. Now then ping over once the APU is fully turned on. Right, 2 minutes to the IRS lines. Like I said, I'll talk about what I did in the holiday once everything is set and we have departed. Gives me something to talk about during the 3-hour cruise. Yes, 3 hours today. Basically, so last time the flight took, what, 2 hours 40 into Helsinki? Yes, basically, because the return flights going against the winds, I mean, the winds are pretty bad up north here. So, yeah, things will slow down by about half an hour during our return flights. Which means, I guess, in the real world, it's me now on my longest ever flights. And in the sim, it just means me talking for 20 minutes a bit longer. Tries to think of things to say. I mean, arrival time would be, yeah, fairly... well, actually, no, because it's, what, 5 in the... There you go, it's Zulu. So this stream is starting super early if you live in the US right now. In the UK right now, 5:30, yeah. In Finland, it's about 7:30 in the morning, so this is quite normal for me. So, yeah, apologies for those who are hoping to watch on a stream. You'll probably maybe make landing, but that's about it. 7 o'clock local time, 5 o'clock in the morning in the UK. And then for me, probably just be a case of yeah, taking the Piccadilly line train home, train to the airport, train on return. Otherwise, yeah, FMS is now set. Let's make sure everything is all sorted. Yeah, takeoff's fine. That's all fine. Transition altitude 5,000. It's good to know. Yeah, that's all cool. 0 minutes to align, so that is now only seconds away. And then in that time, might as well request, again, there's no aircraft in the area. I'll actually quickly get that's away up on my phone, just so I can see who's actually nearby and who's a million miles away. And then in a moment, I will request a pushback, ready for us to depart from the airports. All exits are secured, which is good. And yes, I am the only aircraft in Helsinki right now. The nearest aircraft is in Tallinn at Cruise, I believe. Oh no, we have an aircraft in Tallinn. They just landed though from Warsaw. Cool, so everything's now set. Which means for me, we can now request pushback. And we can now leave. So if I turn off the ground power. One last final check of everything. I can turn on the TCAS actually as well now, since there's no traffic to worry about and therefore won't be blowing traffic at me non-stop. And better pushback. Start pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
That's fine. I want to go. Oh, bit lag. There we go. Bit over here. And that should actually take us straight to 04. Actually, make sure I know where I am at the moment, so it would be quite good to know. I mean, I'm fairly sure this way is the way anyway. Yeah, so 04. So if to position you there.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And yeah, that's fine. Runway's just a fair bit of taxiway. Got across the live runway, and then it's over there. But should be shouldn't take too long to taxi today. Yeah, that's 4 right. So there comes a tow truck. A few aircraft over there to FedEx. Gosh, 727s of all aircrafts. That can now go to start. Set you.
All doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
And make sure that the beacons and strobes are now set to on. Announcing that I am now taxiing to runway. At least now I'm turning my engines on. Therefore, anyone on the ground, quick warning to them. So last time, like I said, we can turn both every 20 engines on at the same time. And I think I'll do that again, just so I can enjoy a pushback from the passenger view. Basically, easy way of doing it. Right, so we're now being lifted.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Engine starting. And there we go, now starting the turn as well on the pushback. Sun would have rose about, well, actually in Finland it would have risen about 2 hours ago. So for like a 3 AM sunrise. Actually no, if it's 3 AM I'll say more 4 hours ago even. And then by the time we land the UK, sun won't be at high yet. Won't be high noon, but should be fairly simple. Right, so I'll turn off the startup now. And off goes the APU bleed and the APU itself. As we are now on engine power. Pushback's almost complete. It's a bit of a long one, this one, actually, I have to say, as we do go fairly far into the actual terminal itself. There you go, pushback's now done. We'll be told to set parking brake in a moment.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
And there we go, we are now ready to go. You'll disconnect. I'm now going to take off config. So flaps down to 1. Make sure everything is set. Likewise, do a quick flight controls check. It's a bit odd, hang on.
Disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left.
Cool, so that's just out of the slight rudder issue there. Left control's fine. Right control's fine. Left hand rudder. It's fine. And right hand rudder is a bit 50-50. There you go, that's as far as it's going to go. But yeah, for the most part that is fine. So you can now go into takeoff config. And we'll set you to engines. Let's see what else needs to do. So auto braking set to max. Signs, whoops, didn't turn signs on. Should have done that ages ago, that's fine. Cabin check, spoilers armed. So forwards check, spoilers armed. Cool, takeoff checklist complete. So now it taxis down to runway, so parking brake released. Increase the throttle. And there we go. We are now leaving Helsinki. Though for me personally, hopefully not the last time, because this is a place I definitely do want to return to one day, and soon. Like, very soon. So fly taxiways down, we'll then cross runways 04 left. We'll go on to 04 right, and hopefully I've also got a bit more of a hang of the A320 steering. And the A320 itself. What was the landing for the flight to Helsinki? Something like 305, wasn't it? Not the best in the world, but certainly not my worst. And as I mentioned, did I mention last time? I'm not sure. Basically, Helsinki for some can be a bit of a weird airport. So because of the winds here, landing can sometimes be a bit heavy. I mean, like VBA, the average landing here is like 257, maybe a little bit higher than that, because this airport can be difficult to land at. So it's quite a weird one, because the whole airport is flat. There's nothing around it, but the winds here can sometimes change. Like, there you go. It's now like 5 knots coming from the headwind. Tailwind at 17 knots. Like, this airport changes all the time, and that's what catches people out. So hopefully landing at Heathrow, things should be a little calmer for me. So taxi now to runway now. As I mentioned as well, so Echo Foxtrot Hotel Kilo, whoops, in capitals. Traffic, taxiing, runway 04 left for departure. And there's no one around me, but best play it safe just in case. There is maybe that one person spawning in soon. No tower, no nothing. Just stuck on the Unicorn 1 to 2.8. The squeaky sound effects, for those just in case you ask, is not part of the ToLiss add-on, but is a part of the XT Realistic Pro add-on, which basically just makes the aircraft sound and look a bit more realistic when you're flying it, as opposed to just your standard camera effects. Right, so I now need to cross runway 04 left. I will announce that on thing, and I will also should turn on my taxi lights just in case. You never know. There we go, so let's bring the aircraft to a halt. Announce that I am crossing runway 04 right. Echo Hotel, whoops. Traffic, crossing runway 04 left. Start, sorry, 04 right. And there you go, you can now increase the throttle again and cross. Right, so bear in mind the other passing on 4 left, we will need to make basically a 180 turn, which is that to the right, before we can get ourselves onto the flight path. So a little bit of manual-esque flying there, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. Now I do need to increase the throttle a lot more because we are taxiing uphill, and the runway is still a little bit further down here. It's not exactly the quickest taxi in the world around Helsinki, but for departing aircraft, I mean, at this time, Tower doesn't need to care about them so much, and they're not exactly part of the airport anymore, so just get rid of them, push them to the side, let them fly away from the corner. So, just a little bit more left to go here. Right, so we're almost there. Got a left turn coming up. And there we go. I can now see the start of the runway. In about a minute, we will be in the air. 1 minute. Time is 4:48 Zulu, so that's about the same time we'll be departing. Probably a few minutes late compared to what I'll be doing in the real world. But if you want, search my call sign into Flight Radar 24. And you'll basically get like an exact location of where I am at the moment. I'll set this first point here. Hold short. It's a massive hold short point, I have to say. You could probably feel like maybe a third lane if you really wanted to. But yeah, we'll hold short. Right, departing runway 04 left, Echo, Foxtrot, Hotel, Kilo. Landing lights can now come on. You can come off. And let's now get out of here. So we've got takeoff clearance sorted. We'll line up on the runway. Hold the aircraft for moments as we split up the engines. And then off we go. Man, I don't want to leave, but unfortunately I have to. I've got to go to work tomorrow. Actually, yeah, tomorrow. It's Sunday today. Cool. Split up the engines. Whoops, bit of a bump there. Have to be careful. It's not exactly the flattest runway in the world. It's not by any means. V1. Rotate. Positive climb, gear up. Looking good. Flaps up to normal. And in a moment we'll then start a left turn to get us onto the actual flight path itself. So we'll nose ever so slightly. And now turn to the left. So this part I'm doing manually. And there we go. And then that should get us onto our flight path in no time. Yes, goodbye Helsinki Vantaa. And we'll be in Heathrow in about 3 hours. In fact, I'm getting the exact time if I wanted to. Time till arriving, 4 hours 19. Gosh, okay. It's going to be a long flight, this. Hopefully we'll catch up during the cruise. And then once we are in cruise as well, you guys are going to get an actual ETA on the screen as well as to when it will arrive. So we're almost done with the left turn. Should be able to see the airport as well to our left as well in a moment. There we go. Angle of attack can also go down ever so slightly. I do want to turn that off as well. That is the most annoying add-on I've ever got. I don't mind autosave, but the fact that it speaks every time, and then when you turn it off, it turns itself back on again when you load up the simulator next time. Cool. Autopilot will now take command. As for me, I can now take everything off the takeoff config, so that's off. Auto brakes already set off. And then landing lights will turn off at 10,000. Standard altimeter, that'll be 2992. And now the aircraft is in command for the rest of the flights. not bad. The sunrise as well. The very low point lighting, giving us a very nice look at the inside of the cockpit as well as the outside. Weather should be a lot nicer compared to last time as well. Cloud cover's fairly low. And in the UK there are definitely some clouds at the moment, but shouldn't cause any hassle when I'm coming into land. Right, about to pass through 10,000 in a moment, passing through 9,500. Co-pilot telling me it's 10,000. Roger that. Landing lights off. And yeah. And cruise. Well, not, oh yeah, not yet in cruise, but above 10,000. I'm now free to chat. So yeah, like, man, this last week, absolutely phenomenal. Like, again, I live in London, I live in the city, I don't get to do so much in the countryside. So, yeah, the actual harbour. So I went to a town called Vantaa. Like, the harbour in that town is beautiful, it really is. Absolutely love that little... They call it a city, it's like a town, really. But, it's absolutely beautiful. And the Lake Saimaa. I also went up to Taipei for a bit as well. What else did I do? I horse riding, did a bit of that. Like, it's not something I ever thought I'd ever really do, but being in the city, being in the countryside, like, opportunity to do that. It's like walking around the forest as well. I mean, that the entire country is beautiful. I absolutely love it. So I do want to return at some point soon. Friends over there, got, like, again, not seen them in years. So the fact that I got to see them, like, get things a bit closer, it's just fun. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. Reindeer meats, like, it's one of those meats that I thought I'd never really, like, ever try because it's just so different, and it was nice. It was interesting at first, like, it was weird, but I grew to like it. Like, gosh, that was nice. And what else as well? Yeah, like, swim in the Finnish lake, like, that was different. Sauna, gosh, that was burning, 100 degrees, like, Infinity, not allowed to complain about the heat, but no, that was hot. So that was an experience. But just overall, like, a week of both peace and so much as well at the same time. It was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. If there's one country you guys need to visit watching this video right now, like, even for a week or something, one country you need to go to will be Finland. Like, this is a whole new ballpark. Like, it's just so beautiful. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Just overall, like, man, it just felt so nice. Like, again, week off of work kind of thing. Like, just time to relax, just time to see what's going on, just let it all out kind of thing. Just feel happy. I mean, back in London, like, fair enough. I mean, I don't, like, hate here or anything, not at all, but just there, everything is so much better. Really is. So, yeah, have to come back one day. That's the flight. Not bad. Scenery's looking great, have to say. Helsinki, though, is no longer visible. As we now fly along the south coast of Finland. So we are now passing through 193, and we shouldn't be too long in cruise. Airspeed will be not the highest today, as mentioned earlier, because of the winds, but hopefully the aircraft will have enough in it to try and push its way through it. Everything else, they should be alright. Seatbelt sign can turn off now, since I'm not expecting any weather. This flight should be a lot smoother compared to the last one. Like, absolutely everything about it. It's going to be a lot smoother, a lot calmer, a lot quieter. And so it's just time for me to sit back, relax and enjoy the flight, I guess. for another 4 hours. I think it said the arrival time was expecting. And there we go, time to arrival, 2 hours 51. 2 hours 51. About 2 hours and 10 minutes I'll start descending or something. Yeah, a little bit of a distance to go. And hopefully, like I said, landing in Heathrow should be a little nicer than my arrival into Helsinki. Again, 3:05. Again, it's not the worst in the world, but it's not something you want to be getting. Now we're meant to be. How's the thing looking for our waypoints? 237. Being held at 21 for some reason. Although once we're out of Nunto, I can assume that that will climb again. Again, the Airbus not my go-to aircraft yet, or probably ever will be. But for the most part, it's the same basic setup still there. It's still a medium to short-haul aircraft. There will be commonalities between both aircraft and every aircraft in the world. There you go, next waypoint. That has now jumped. And again, flying an A319, rather than an A320 I'd be doing in the real world. Yeah, Speedbird at 795, that needs to be set to. Let me check something quickly. Yeah, I need to quickly adjust my finger seconds, so screen will go black for a moment. Don't worry, that's just me doing something in the background quickly. I need to do that. That. Swap you around. That. And one last thing, I need to file again. Cool, now I can turn the screen back on, and that should be perfect. Basically, I just realised I was using the wrong call sign on that sim, so don't want any confusion with that. I'll switch over to the correct one. We can then continue flying. So we are now about to leave the country for the last time. As you see, the coastal island is starting to break up a bit more, and the end of the island is literally over there. Meaning we will soon be on our own way. As for towers, actually in London as well, something I will also need to figure out if that is something I'll be expecting when I do approach or not. I mean, I am expecting someone, probably a London centre, but other than that, it should be quite a quiet approach. Yes, there is a centre in Heathrow at the moment. And therefore someone that I will need to chat to later on. So we are now at 287. It's about to flight level 290. Got a little bit more climbing left to do until we are at cruise. Well, that's not too far away now. And if I do quickly check my VATSIM map, I mean, what are actual VAMSIS aircraft around me? We've got two aircraft flying to Helsinki, neither of whom are on VATSIM right now. I've got an ERJ, and then we've got a 738. Who are you? Then we've got one who's departed from Los Angeles, KLAX. They've got whatever land that is over there in distance. Gosh, not very visible, is it? But I'll actually tell you what country that is. That is going to be a bit of Hanko. Just the region name, Hanko. And that's just a small island off the peninsula of Finland. So now over 300. May reach the let's go through the waypoint names as well. So go back to you. So yeah, we'll get through the NKIDS waypoints at 325, and then top of climb and Olped is at 340 for cruise. And then with that, the aircraft will just keep on level for the next couple of hours. There we go. Let's go through the passenger window actually for a bit again. Just enjoy the flight from all angles, because the flight itself, I mean, I was expecting quite a simple one. No real turbulence, nothing really coming in from outside. Cruise itself should be quite cool. There you go. Got some of the Finnish islands in the background as well. Something to look at actually from this side. I think passengers on this view will get a bit more to see. And like just the whole area itself is beautiful. Like just look all the islands just around you. I mean, Finland is the land of 1,000 lakes. And I think of the 1,000 islands as well. So just the whole area, it's an absolute phenomenal place to be. And hopefully next year as well, guys I met up with over in Finland will be actually coming to London for a bit. And that should also be a lot of fun as well. A lot to come up in the future. Definitely a lot to come. I guess, yeah, we're now in cruise. Actually not, okay, apparently not quite yet in cruise, or at least we're... Oh, 360. Something's not adding up. PFD claims we're cruising at 36,000. FMC says I'm cruising at 34,000. So unless my flight plan's got something different. Actually, yeah, 360 there. Okay, in that case, do I cruise to 36? There you go, optimal 361. In that case, yeah, if I will continue to 360. Sets that. I mean, higher cruise means that the engines are more efficient, and therefore I may get there a few minutes faster as well. So if I go back to Squawk Box, send a flight plan, and adjust U to 3,600, and that should give me a bit nicer there. Perfect. There goes, so a few more clouds now appearing, but nothing out the ordinary, nothing too major just yet. And turbulence is still set to a minimal, so no need to see sign on just yet. And yeah, how heavy are the winds actually up here at the moment? 212.49, so basically getting pushed back by about 15 knots. So we're going at 245. In reality, we're going about 195, and then the winds through the pitot tubes make it look like going 240. It's not a very fast cruise at all at the moment. Sure, the return leg's going to be a lot longer than the flight out. There you go, so we're now at our actual cruise is 360. Winds are now at 51 knots, so a lot heavier up here, but shouldn't be too bad. A bit more of a view from the right hand side again, a few more of the islands in distance, but for the most part we are now out of the country and away on our own. Yeah, over the Baltic Sea. Then we'll be flying over just south of Stockholm in a couple of minutes. Yeah, these guys aren't really seeing much on just a few islands on the horizon. Right, so as we continue our cruise, as always, just make sure the aircraft is still set properly. I mean, we're now at 5 AM Zulu. There you go, 5:16 Zulu, 6:15 in the UK. And therefore, one or two viewers may be popping in every once in a while. But yeah, actual cruise fairly simple. At this time in the aircraft, I'd probably just be probably sleeping actually, because I've been awake since my train leaves at 8 PM the night before. Basically, my return journey, it's another one of those super long awkward ones, because on my time getting here, it was a case of I arrived at, well, I woke up, left the house at 12 PM UK time, get to the airport for my flight at 6:40, arrive at 11:30 local time, trains at 7 AM. So that in itself is a long time to wait. And then by the time I get back to home, so it's 8 o'clock train time leaving on the Saturday. Get to Helsinki at let me double check the ticket quickly. Something I probably should know by now. But yeah, because don't forget these are pre-recorded. I mean, I can't exactly live stream a flight from the flight itself unless I'm actually like a real life recording kind of thing. No way I could do that. So yeah, let's go to here. Yeah, Lappeenranta Helsinki Airport. So I leave the airport. I leave the Lappeenranta at 8:49 the local time. I arrive in Helsinki, or at least Tikkurila, the side station outside of Helsinki, at 22:34. So about 2 hours on the train. 10:30. And then it's just going to spend a while in the train station, the airport itself. We've got an airport in the area from Estonia. Good day. From Italy to stabilize at 140 on 2.8 years. Is there a centre in the area 122.8? Maybe I'll check that. Because there are some live frequencies that use it, but it's not very common on that sim. Who's online? There is a centre. You're on Unicom 122.8. Remember to tune to 135.1. Blinky face. Just for the pilot who's a little bit mistaken at the moment, a little bit confused at least to where he is. A little bit of turbulence at the moment, the aircraft get blown to the side a bit, so in a moment I may turn off the seatbelt sign just in case things do pick up a little bit. But it seems to have calmed down, not too bad. Wind speeds as well, slightly picking up, between 150 and 152 knots. Yeah, I'll turn the seatbelt sign on just now, so keep passengers seated while we go through a bit of turbulence here. As we fly over the land, things should calm down a little bit more. But nah, the aircraft is starting to vibrate a bit. You can see from the wings as well. Actually, I'll say that. I think it's now calmed down already. Turbulence has died down, so straight away it's going to come off again. And yeah, no Stockholm Centre, no one over Sweden right now. So we'll just continue our cruise. Right, cloud cover's definitely now starting to pick up. And so on, well, that we'll now need to make sure that's not going to cause any issues for us. Though it shouldn't do. And all of a sudden, clouds go down low again. The weather engine next plane can be a little unpredictable at times. The one thing that, the one gripe that I think a lot of people have with the simulator, and its default weather is not great. It really isn't. So by the time the X-Plane 11 comes out, things should definitely pick up from there. But at the moment, it's not the worst in the world again. It's not terrible. It's just not great either. Yeah, keep an eye on the wind again. It's a rather odd one, I have to say. Half-time wind is too strong, half-time the wind is fairly light. Yeah, so it'll be land-borne in a couple of moments. Yeah, basically, so if I show you the map quickly. So, there we are, Baltic Sea, Stockholm's to our north. Then we're going along the coast of Sweden for a little bit. Got this aircraft over here, so we'll have some traffic coming up in a couple of moments. Got a Cessna Skyhawk. What airline are you flying with to fly a Skyhawk? Yeah, a few aircraft in the area. Other than that, not too bad. Okay, you're going to Manchester, which is our alternative airport. But flight itself should be fairly simple. So I wonder if you sit on the right side. Yeah, you can see Sweden as well. So if you're sitting on the right hand side of this flight, you're getting to see a lot more, I have to say. I mean, especially when you're coming to land over Heathrow as well. Yeah, the London approach, you basically fly over London as well. Get to see the River Thames and all that. So, note to self, sit on the right hand side. I mean, I've got to book the flight at some point soon. Might as well reserve the seats for this one right hand side. Because you're definitely seeing a lot more from departure to flights. I mean, yes, this side you got to see the south coast of Finland. But after that, what else? It's just water. You can get to see a little... Is that a land or a cloud? No, that's a cloud as well. So, yeah, left-hand side, you see nothing. Right-hand side, you've got a little bit of scenery to look at. And it's quite scenic, especially from high altitude. So, cool. When I'm booking the tickets, go to sit on the right-hand side. And on my flight out, go to sit on the left-hand side. Or do I? Yeah, I can have the left-hand side for the flight to. Means I may not get to see one thing, but that doesn't matter so much. It really depends on what I want to see, kind of thing, during the flight. And you never know, if the flight's not so busy as well, maybe make like a quick move as well. That shouldn't matter too bad. Depends how busy it is, really. And I'm not expecting the busiest in the world. I mean, middle of July, not everyone's off for school holidays yet. So, with that being said, that is like the week before school holiday starts. And my term flight will be about 3 or 4 weeks until the school holidays end in Finland. So, yeah, it'll be a bit of a mixed bunch when I do fly out. I mean, it wasn't particularly that heavily booked as well when I was booking it as well. The actual flights themselves about a month ago. So, a little bit empty, but nothing too major. Yeah, these clouds are definitely changing fairly often from fairly clear to complete cloud cover Like, come on, sim, make your mind up. There you go, empty again. Give it a couple of seconds, fully cloud again. Yeah, this sim... Is there like a freeware weather engine already out in the simulators that I don't know about? Because that is something I'm going to have to try and look into. Yeah, everything should be fine. So later on, we will go through landing config, but that shan't be for a little while to come. I mean, when is top of descent meant to be at 0724? 0526. Literally 1 hour 50 minutes till top of descent. So there will be few gaps where I'm not saying much, but that's just because I'm trying to like spread it out during the flights. But yeah, guys I went to see over in Finland. There's two people I really went to see. There's fellas I met up with as well. But yeah, one guy, Yusha, the guy who I sometimes do the live streams with. So like I said, World of Thunder we do, World of Warships we do, and yeah, War Thunder we do, and World of Warships we do. And yeah, those were quite popular back in the day when we used to do them. And yeah, it was quite cool. And then we had the main reason we went as well, so the creator of Skitsu-chan, who yeah, definitely had a few fond memories with. Like, we are close friends. I mean, all three of us, we are close. So it's nice to actually go see him after a long time, and yeah, just really have a chance just to get out of life for a moment, step out, new country, new start kind of thing, and just really see it for what it is. So really glad we got to do it in the end. Like I said earlier on, it's something I do want to go back and do in the future. And hopefully not take, what? When we started talking to them about 3 years ago now, coming up to 4 years. For 1 year, fair enough, things are a bit 50-50. We actually didn't even talk at all for a whole year because small arguments, which I will be not going into any detail about, but yeah, one little bit of one little hiccup we'll call it. Then thereafter things have just been quite cool, like no real like bad blood or anything, just overall, again, like I said, best week I've ever had kind of thing. Really glad I went out. Well worth the cost of the flight tickets and train tickets as well, and the 2 sleepless days I'm going to have. So last night when I arrived, that was an all-nighter, and then my return as well will be an all-nighter, except this one I think is going to be even longer a day, because while I can wake up for any time before 12 on the flight to Finland, this one I'm waking up in the morning, doing as much as I can do on the Saturday, take the train at 8, wake up, do as much as I... Well, yeah, don't even wake up. So I take the train, arrive in Helsinki, do my last whatever I can on the day before finishing off for the holiday. I've got a 2-day course, Monday and Tuesday, which I then will need to complete before getting back to work properly on the Wednesday. So, very busy couple of days for me. And then things will go back to normal, and hopefully I should have enough content on YouTube as well, just to keep things going. Likewise, there are some things as well that I did on the holiday, which I won't go into too much detail with. But, yeah, that's mainly just because of the things thereabouts can be a little bit sensitive at times as well, depending on who's watching the video. So the last thing I want to do is start like religious kind of like things on this chat. I mean, fair enough, like, yeah, we have different religions and whatnot, but any like arguments and stuff that can be avoided, I would much rather like to avoid. There you go, so I can now see Sweden just up ahead. But yeah, we're not landborne just yet. Not too long to go, I have to say. A few islands just down below us. And of course, left side see nothing. Right side gets all the views, like genuinely sitting on the right hand side for this flight will be more of a spectacle. Yeah, some very beautiful sights down below. These guys still have no idea we're in Sweden yet. If you were to look across, you have no way to tell. Poor passengers on the left hand side. Right hand side, I am getting this booked soon. I think something like £8 to pre-book a seat, so it's not exactly cheap, but if it means I get to look at something out the window, then yeah, definitely worth it. So £16 to reserve seats both ways. Oh yeah, it also depends on the weather as well. If it's too cloudy, then fair enough. But I wouldn't mind a window seat anyway. There you go, just like that. Cloud cover completely covers the ground. You're not seeing much. So, as to traffic in the area, I'll just have a quick look at that. There is absolutely no one. As for any VAMSIS people as well, there is absolutely no one. Again, nearest guy is just to my north. He's in a private aircraft. They're about a third of the way there to London now. 1/3 of the way there. ETA 1 hour 56 minutes. So not exactly a short flight either. About my normal time actually on the 737 Ryanair flights from Stansted to Rzeszów. So not from this point on, just use normal stuff. Descent also in 1 hour, 1 hour and a half as well to the top of descent. Must remember that one. I mean, time right now here, locally, I'm actually doing this, is 3:02 right now. Yeah, not the same day, not the same time as the flight. But everything you see, so locally I set the sim time to real time and all that, so for those watching the stream right now, I mean, by this time, depending on who's actually logging in as well, at such an early time in the morning, 6:46, on a Sunday, might I add. But yeah, everything you can see right now is basically as close to what it would be in the day as I can. The aircrafts, not an A319, it's an A320 I'm flying on the day. But because I don't have an A320 by Flight Factor, or actually I say I don't have an A320, I do, but it's the Wilco model. Like, I don't think anybody wants me to fly the Wilco, especially not in like a video like this. So I do have an A320, it's just not exactly one that people want. And yeah, it's like, the ToLiss is the best option I got. I mean, it's a decent model itself, so ToLiss itself would fit nicely. And just people know we're over Sweden yet? The answer is possibly. Unfortunately, the clouds though is too much to actually see out the window. But yeah, like the ToLiss itself is a nice model, good to fly. Yes, it's 19 not 20, but who should I care really? Like, it's what I've got at the end of the day. Got to make do with what I've got, and this is what I've got. Maybe one day I'll get the flight factor in the future, but I'm generally quite happy with my 737s and my Boeing aircraft for the most parts. Flying this just because I kind of need to for the video, for the context of it. I mean, everything else is fine. The only real difference is that the aircraft flies ever so slightly different because it's a lot shorter and a lot lighter. Everything else though is the same, kind of like the cockpit layout's the same, setup's the same, flying it for the most part the same as well. Like, there really is no difference between two aircrafts. It's like comparing a 738 to a 737. Yes, they'll fly slightly differently in the air because they're different lengths, different weights. When it actually comes to like the cockpit setup and whatnot, exactly the same, no difference whatsoever. And yeah, right now it's me just like sitting here in this chair, eyes closed, relaxed and calm, enjoying the flight as it is so far. No tower, although if I do get a message from one later on, I shall do. But yeah, still got a long time to go till landing. 7:39 ETA. Where's my ETA on the actual flight in the day? If we go to mail, let's go through my online tickets. I mean, that's Zulu, so 8:39. Finland trip, British Aiways e-tickets. 9 o'clock, 7:45 till 9. So, yeah, at this point we'll be landing about, what, 21 minutes early. 21 minutes early. But you don't know what star we're approaching on just yet, or how long it takes to get to gates. So, as before, I'm expecting quite a similar time. I mean, on my flights to Finland, I must add that we didn't do a holding pattern. No need for it, so we'd have sent it a lot earlier. But the actual arrival time itself was basically spot on. Oh, and landing was not as heavy as well. But, yeah. Timings have been fairly similar. I can't really complain about that. Some very nice scenes down below. Explains default scenery. I think we can all guess is like, compared to FSX, default scenery is way ahead of its time. Then again, FSX scenery is, well, FSX released in 2006 with technology based from 2002, so 16 years ago now. But explains default scenery really is a step ahead. I mean, you have got Orbex on FSX, which does improve it. And then also on top of it explains we've got all the extra add-on stuff on top. So really, scenery-wise, you're getting top-end stuff here right now. I mean, just looking down and below, the colouring's great. The clouds, okay, clouds you can just ignore because they're terrible. They really are. But for the most part, you're getting some really nice stuff here. So the aircraft, little wallow there, little shake in the wind. But for the most part, it should be doing alright. Oh, and there goes the clouds again. But nah, it really is a nicely done simulator, this one. Based on Linux, must add as well, so it runs better on Linux systems than it does on a Windows system. But it's not too bad. And again, once the update comes in the new year for Vulkan, things will definitely drastically improve, and by then I'll really be pushing towards X-Plane as my main sim. I mean, even now, like, as I said in the first stream, the amount of X-Plane content I'm doing right now definitely is picking up. There's a time where I was doing absolutely nothing for X-Plane, but right now it's definitely starting to really grow a lot more, and it's really turning into a sim that I'm using a lot more often as well, in my own free time and whatnot. So yeah, it's like spending time looking at improvements and what I can do to actually like mod it and whatnot, and hopefully in the long run, other than my FS Passenger series, because if the guy ever converted FS Passengers into X-Plane, then yes, I would make the full transition right now, no questions asked. FS Passengers is the only thing keeping me on FSX right now, because that add-on is my all-time favourite for any flight simulator. Yes, you have stuff like FS Economy and what's it called? FS Economy and VAMSys you can also use on this sim. But FS Passengers, the way it works, like you got your flight reports, you got your passengers and all that kind of stuff. Like everything about FS Passengers is a beautiful add-on. I love it. And it's the only reason why I'm not making a jump fully to X-Plane just yet. Why I'm still sticking with FSX for a little bit longer. Yeah, so a few more aircraft now appearing on the Unicom. And as we fly towards Heathrow, things will only get busier, especially during approach. I can tell you that it's going to start picking up a lot more. Yeah, not doing too bad. Halfway through Sweden. I'm not gonna lie though, this flight has actually been, at least it's felt going quicker than it actually has been, because I was expecting quite a long, dreary, depressing flight, but I think the scenery we've had, at least when we can see it, really has like picked up on the enjoyment factor of this flight. That's why I've been like silent for so long now. So I really am just like enjoying the scenery, like outside, looking out the front. You got your clouds popping in and out, of course, but like the scenery below it looks great. Just overall, it's been an enjoyable flight so far. Not my choice of aircraft, as I'll always say, but what can I do really? That's what we got, and I can't say too much about it. Like, it's not the worst in the world. It's not the worst. I've flown better. But in terms of actual setup, now that I'm getting the hang of things, starting to make a bit more sense kind of stuff, and actually now starting to fly at half decent. Although landing, as before, will always be a test. If I can try and beat that 300 landing. So let me go to Vantastic. Just get a quick updates with my tower situation. And zoom in as well. I've zoomed in a bit too far, and that's leaving just hundreds of aircraft to look around. So, we do have centre here. Who are you? Are you centre? Yes, you are. So we do have centre, as my aircraft is this one, Speedbird 795. Whether or not we get much of him though will be a different question, but yeah, something actually different for once. Let's get someone to talk to mid-flight, like last time where we connected to tower, had to disconnect straight. Connected to centre, and had to disconnect straight away because he wasn't actually dealing with our aircraft at the time. He's dealing with our areas up north in London centre. So if I can try and find the UK now in this massive mess. Where are you, UK? Well, that's the Atlantic. So if we can zoom in around here. Golf, November, Golf Mike. So in the UK, somewhere around here is Heathrow. There we go, that's Gatwick, of course, with Tower, because Gatwick is a training airport in the sim. Got Golf Papa, so Liverpool with Frequency Tower. And then Heathrow looks quite busy on the grounds. And then we are one of the 19 arrivals at that airport. Cessna 172, just flying around for some reason, City to Gatwick. Again, I'm not sure how far I'm zoomed in, because this thing's Fantastic's unfortunately dying, it really is. Nice tour while it lasted, but for the most part, it's like end of life kind of thing. The developers behind it. I believe there is a fantastic V2 coming, like a 3D globe kind of thing, but for the most part, V1, its current version is just dying day by day. I mean, fair enough, X-Plane's taking out my entire GPU power. Well, I'm limited to 30 FPS, but everything else is like slow, clunky, bit messy, fantastic. Well, I think Vantaa and VatMap are both really starting to grow as map programs. And there's that one downloadable one as well, something like VatSpy, I believe it's called. Not sure, haven't used it, but yeah, it's definitely a tool out there as well. And in reality for this flight, I'd be sitting more, I'd say, towards the back of the aeroplane kind of thing, because the £8 seats I'm also trying to book, so something with no obstruction kind of thing. That's more like my view I'm going to get for the flights. The actual seat I'll probably do like straight after the stream, just so I can try and get one on the right hand side, because yeah, I said the views out here are much more stunning than the ones we got on the other side. And what do you guys even see at this time? A few bit of land, bit of coast, but it's not like the fancy bit of coast like all the islands coming off of it. This one's more like flat kind of land. I mean, it's good, but not as good as the other side for most of it. And of course you have the end of the country come towards us now, as we now fly over Denmark once we leave Sweden. So I think cloud cover actually now has cleared up a bit, rather than just nothing spawning in for a little while. And hopefully it'll stay that way for a while, but like I said, in the UK I know it's going to be a cloudy approach. There we go. So now the clouds are updating. More of an idea of what I'm going to see. There are some high altitude clouds ahead, but nothing too much. And speaking of high altitude clouds, probably best if I do turn it on to weather radar as well, just to keep things going. So system 1 double X on, and hopefully that should, assume I've set it up correctly. I've never actually turned the weather radar on this plane before, so I'm probably doing it completely wrong, knowing me. That should be alright, at least based on my own knowledge. That's alright. If it doesn't appear, then obviously I've done something wrong. Because I'm quite sure that this aircraft will have it simulated. So yeah, it's just a case of whether or not I know how to do it. Yep, I'm just stupid. That's about it really. But clouds do seem to be below us now, and therefore it won't be too much of an issue now. In fact, let me get the weather at Heathrow. .wx EGLL. Visibility is 9999. A bit darker in the cockpit. There goes. So visibility is plus 10 nautical miles. Wind speed is 19 at 10. 1014 QNH. Cool. So it's not too bad. The weather at Heathrow, not as bad as I thought it would be. Cloud cover though is a little bit lower than what I want. Yeah, fairly stable flights, minor rocking, but really nothing I need to do too much about. As for flight crew, not too bad as well. Again, ever so slightly rocking, but not as much as it was doing last time on my flight to Helsinki. One two 1.37. Make sure the this is turned on as well. Yes, it is. Cool. 121.37. Good afternoon, Tower. This is Speedbird 975 with you at flight level 360.
Speedbird 795, Copenhagen Control, good afternoon. Please walk 7363.
7363 for Speedbird 795 0363. Cool, so we'll be with this centre for a while. And then that'll be until we leave the Netherlands. Until we actually enter the Netherlands, even not before we leave. Until we enter the Netherlands, then go back onto Unicom. That's assuming that no other centre logs in. London centre we might get later, because that one's generally quite a popular airspace to have live frequency. Other than that, yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
Please walk 7363.
7-3? Oh, okay. 7363 for Speedbird 795.
Speedbird 795, identified, flight level 360.
Of course, now identified. And now got to listen out to frequency in case there's anyone else in the area. Should be too many aircraft, maybe one or two we may have to other contact with, but for the most part it should just be stay with him for a while, and then he'll send us back to Unicom when we're out of his airspace. And hopefully the quality of this stream video things will be a little bit higher than the previous one as well. I do know that on the flight to Helsinki video that quality was a little bit hit and miss at times. So yeah, hopefully this one will be a little bit nicer on you. So yeah, now over Denmark. What actually is the capital of Denmark? I mean, honest answer. What is it? Because I know my mother went there a couple weeks ago. Not a couple weeks ago, a couple of months ago on a quick holiday with her friends. But for some reason, it's one of those that is super obvious, but because I'm just dumb, I'm not going to remember it. It's not Aalborg. Aalborg is just one of those cities in the Euro Truck Simulator that I go to every once in a while. Yeah, I've managed to forget the capital of Denmark. of all places. I'm gonna Google it, and it'll just be super obvious, won't it? Yep, I'm gonna have to Google it because I'm just stupid. Right, capital of Denmark. Copenhagen. It's Copenhagen. Again, quite an obvious one, but hey, mind blank for a moment, and I just forgotten what it is completely.
Continuing the 1809, you need a space now for ATC available, money so you come 123.8, have a nice flight.
It's another Speedbird, not myself. Was he Finnair or Speedbird? I'm not sure. Use something. So we are now flying over Sealand. Copenhagen's somewhere miles behind me. In fact, Copenhagen's actually about there. Hang on, let the aircraft go on its own journey. Move out the way of the contrail, the thick black smoke. And yeah, Copenhagen, I believe it's
Copenhagen control is now closing, running to Unicom 123.8 and resume on navigation. Have a nice flight.
Unicom for Speedbird 798, thank you very much. Cool, so he's disconnecting. And yeah, I was just going to say that bit I was looking at over there is the Copenhagen area. So, top of descent. Actually, make sure if check if I actually made it any time. Let's have a look. 344. Top of descent is at 7:25. It is now 6:21. So we've made a couple of minutes, not many though. And it's 1 hour and 3 minutes now until top of descent. So just over an hour to go until we start lowering down. And then a little bit longer until we land at Heathrow. Heathrow actually ETA is in 1 hour and 19 minutes. 1 hour and 19 to go. So coming up to the DMIT waypoint now. Let's go for the actual waypoints need to fly through. So back up to the top. So we've just left Nisix for DMIT, Deagle, Golan, Kubat, Eel, Spy, Gorlo, Refso, Alcock, Xarman, top of the sense. Then it's Coordinate, Logan, Copal, Decelerates, Tanets, Debts, and then Biggin, and then Heathrow. So it looks like we'll be on the Biggin approach. So that again will determine. Also do get a bit closer to the airport. So get us back to the flight path. There we go. And then carry on as it is so far. Yeah, we will soon be leaving Denmark in a moment. Not too far left to go there. Next time we then fly over will be the Netherlands, and that won't be too far away. So yeah, from this point on, all the passengers on this side of the aircraft now actually get a bit more to look at. But yeah, the first like half of it really is nothing for them. inside the aircraft. Not the best view in terms of yeah, not the best view unless you want to view something. Although for the rest of it, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Then flying over Heathrow, depending on the approach as well you make, depends on like what they'll really see. Because like I said, the one approach I want to make is the Biggin approach. Basically, with that, it's a case you can actually then see like the entire London, the River Thames and all that while coming to land. It's a very beautiful approach in my opinion. It's one I do very much want to make in the real world. Sim fair enough. I can make it, depending on what other aircraft are doing in terms of approaches on the runway. But it's one that I do very much want to see. Which on the return flights, see on the right hand side is the kind of view I want to do. Left hand side is a bit... it's a bit different. And that is because of the fact that you really don't get to see so much in the journey to Finland. That one again is 50-50. So yeah, there is some traffic now over Schiphol in Amsterdam. That'll be EHAM traffic, and we'll be seeing them for a little while to come. As for Heathrow, or London even as well, there doesn't appear to be any centres, and it looks like we've got a 27 left approach today. Actually, I take that back. Actually, if I'm totally honest with you, I'm not actually sure what's the departure is out of Heathrow today. It looks like 27 left, assuming you're departing. I mean, you can't always trust that sim for this kind of stuff. It has to be flight radar 24. Yeah, if I can try and get an idea of what approach we're going to make into Heathrow, we'll determine on what my landing will be when I do start setting up the config for that. So yeah, Helsinki I don't need any more. But for London, that one I can zoom for Heathrow. And yeah, it'll be a Terminal 3 approach today. Yeah, 27 left. Perfect. So if we now plug that into the flight plan, so it'll be perf, next page, next phase even. Actually, before we even do that, let's program our approach. And so flight plan, Heathrow, arrival, ILS 27 left, on the big one. I'm gonna have to get charts for this one because I have got no idea which airport we're gonna be, which run we're gonna land at. So I'm gonna quickly load up some Heathrow arrival charts. There we go. Standard arrival charts for Big M. There you go. Logan, Copal, Tanet, Stetling. That is the Biggin 1 Echo approach. 1 Echo. Via... Is it BNN I'm flying over? I believe it is. Big... Nope, okay, so no Via. And insert. Now there should be no breakpoints. That looks good to me. Cool, that means our approach is now programmed. At least I do need to set it here as well. So approach, do another quick check at London. Can't get E, there we go. So that is 1014. And it's 13, is that 15 or 1311? Is that 1911 even? Can't read properly because the lighting is a bit off. So 19/11. Plug that one in. Where are you there? Temperature is... Well, now I can just Google London temperature. (19). It's quite hot in London today, I have to say. Decision height will be 200 as always. Config 3 flaps, and that should be us ready for landing. So with that all configs and ready to go, then I should get a double check of if our approach time has changed, descent time even. Alcock to Zaman, top of descent in between that at 0724. And it's right now 0634. So yeah, about 50 minutes until we need to start our descents. 1 hour 7 till arrival. So need 27-minute descent apparently, although that I've got a feeling may change. Well, almost definitely will change during our descents. Still over Denmark for a little bit longer. And there's no tower over frequency over London. I mean, yes, I've probably done the landing setup a little bit early compared to most, but for the most part, what can I expect really? Yeah, tower's getting a bit busier. There's another speedbird in the air as well, probably more than 2 earlier. There we go, so you can now see the Netherlands in the distance there. For that fraction of a second the clouds did disappear. And then once we're over the Netherlands, Delta Foxtrot got Frankfurt traffic in the areas now. So yeah, over Netherlands, we'll do one last double check of our landing config, and then bring the aircraft down to land. Otherwise, it's been a rather relaxing flight this morning. Nice and calm, nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing for me to really need to worry about. Just get ourselves down in no time. And as long as I can beat 300 feet per minute on the landing, then there's nothing for me to worry about. At the end of the day, like I said, landing on the way here was a little bit rough, but nothing I can really change now. It just means I can get some improvements in the future. I do have to say as well that since the tower guy's disconnected as well, a little less to listening to, less to talk about. Slight jump cut there. I'm not sure why that is. I think that's just down to the XP Realistic Pro. Basically, like the loop animation just cuts out, but slight jump there, and it has done basically for the majority of this thing as well in the previous flights. Now turbulence has picked up. There has been more shaking going on right now. I will turn the seatbelt sign on now actually, because that one's a very strong burst compared to before. And there is supposedly an aircraft to my left somewhere. Fair bit distance away, must point out, but there is something to my left. Because we are now flying over water on the short hop between the Netherlands and Denmark. And there you go, turbulence just calms down, the aircraft has reacted accordingly. You can see some come off again, and possibly for the last time for our top of descent in a bit. Yeah, it's about 23 minutes till that now. Just keeping an eye on the systems as well while I do carry on my descent. I wonder if we can try to get that. Wonder if we can try to get that weather radar working again. I mean, obviously something I've done is not set up properly. System 1, weather plus turbulence. So that's auto. Till not required. GCS auto, my scan auto. Gain. No need for extra gain, that's fine. But that is the weather radar system. As to why it's not showing up, I have no clue. Yeah, no need for the waypoints either, that's just ridiculous. Don't need. None of this I really need. And that's about it really. And so, my aim at Heathrow is trying to get as smooth a landing as possible, because that is something I'm really... I think my best landing in the ToLiss so far is 2:30, something like that. So, yeah, Heathrow, I do want to try and... someone's on final at Ham, at Schiphol, and there's a little... I think that's guy departing the Iberia. Oh, if only I could watch that on but unfortunately like traffic cam or something I can look at. But I was saying, yeah, at Heathrow I want to try and get as smooth a landing as possible. Try and beat my 2:30 like records kind of thing on this. So it may be a little bit of a float kind of thing, but hopefully the terrain at the airport's not going to be too much of an issue for me to bring it back on as well. Meaning the PMDG 737. That one I've got some decent landing rates in, but must add that the PMDG 737 ain't the best in terms of landing form. Well, no, sorry, it's not the best in terms of like physics in the air as well. Flight dynamics are a little off, so the aircraft can be quite predictable to fly. Something that X-Plane basically eliminates by having the airflow around the aircraft all modelled within the flights. There's a lot that the simulator does, which is like why it is starting to become like the #1 simulator and #1 choice for most people. There is a lot that X-Plane does do, and it's something that we will also see very much active in the long run as well. And it looks like there is some, not arguments, but some few things going on in the chat. They landed in sync, why didn't you go around way behind him? I've slowed down, speeds will be fine. Descending, yeah. That's some arguments going on the runway at Schiphol right now. Well, this could have been avoided with Tower, but what can we do, really? It's just funny to watch. Unfortunately, I can't go use, like, FSX modes to watch. So what's happened is 2 aircraft landed at the same time. Try and get an idea of what's going on. I mean, that's what it looks like. There you go. Yes, and only one communicated on Unicom. They refused to go around. Landed next to each other. I can't believe putting into toga further down the runway. Max reverse works. Yeah, so I'm guessing that the TRA, I don't know which airline that is, I do apologise. Basically, so he was like number 2 to land when the Ibiza was also coming in to land. And then he chose to use the grass next to the runway to land himself. Right now, taxi for, yeah, I think all realism has gone at that airport. This is not a chat room. I'm sorry, Bell Force 96, but this is too funny to pass up. Hopefully Heathrow will be a little bit better. Oh, I love the Siberia guy. Yes, just ignore. Just acts like you're not here, so you won't ruin my flight. I'm assuming the TRA guy's now going to start like getting all butthurt by this, and now will like taxi over and same spot as the Iberia, and that's just gonna. I'm trying to figure out when I was in front of you on approach. I'm in the wrong. Aircraft to my right. (030), so about 6,000 feet. Sorry, minus (030), so 3,000 feet below me. Where exactly? I'm not quite sure yet. I'm gonna have to zoom in one from the co-pilot sides. Okay, so yeah, they are a fair bit away from me. About 20 nautical miles to my right. Whether or not I can see them will be a whole separate story. Again, it's not like it's the one thing I missed from FSX, which that it did better, and that was the fact that you can actually go watch the AI on like your own separate camera kind of thing. Unfortunately, in this sim, it's not a feature, and therefore can't miss. We're gonna have to miss them. Fortunately, it's not a case where they're so close that they're gonna actually become an issue for me. Traffic warning, but they are far enough for me to just pass by no problems. They're slightly below me and to my left. That's all I know. So I will keep an eye out. (10 nautical miles to my right). He should be in view, but unfortunately not. And therefore, we're just going to have to... Yeah, he's fine. He's going to be passing me by now. Oh, there he is. There he is. He's a KLM. Sorry, Korean Airlines even. Korean Airlines 777. Passenger on the right-hand side. Any good luck finding him? Yep, there he is. Not every day you actually spot an aircraft so far away in that sim on the next plane, but it's a nice little extra. So he's a Korean Airlines. Unfortunately, I can't exactly tell what type of aircraft he is. I can assume though he'll be a 777 because that's what they fly. Assume he's going to seal. So about to reach Spite. Don't need the approach plan just yet. Not too far now till descent. Not too long left to go. Now I shall return in 2 moments. She quickly pop to the loop. Otherwise, yeah, at this point I said cruise should be fairly simple. Back in a moment. Cool, apologies for that. Although we should be back on now. Right, it's about to reach the spyway point. And then once we reach spy, we'll then start our... We'll send it actually again. When does it actually start? Which waypoint am I looking for? I think it's okay. Yes, Alcock is when we do start our descent. So I remember last time I was top of climb at OKOKO. Now we're starting at Alcock for our descents. Yeah, more traffic passing. Otherwise, yeah, a few aircraft around Heathrow to keep an eye out for. But I decided that at the moment it is Unicom at Heathrow, and therefore we'll have to start our chats with the guys there later. And it also means that I won't have to announce my descent and whatnot when I do start arriving as well. Otherwise my approach will be announced, so that'll be the Big In 1 Echo, runway 27 left, which means I will get the approach I wanted, which is over the River Thames, and therefore again, for those sitting on the right hand side, you get the best view of London ever. Like literally as you fly over the River Thames, look down, the approach at Heathrow 27 left on the Big In is a beautiful, beautiful approach, one of my all-time favourites. And so again, please weather, give me that approach when I do fly on the real world. And I do this flight for real next time. And of course again in an A320, and so bigger aircraft gets more seats to pick from on the right hand side, but again it'll be as far forward as I can on the cheap £8 seats to book them on. And I'm still deciding which side will be best for the departure flight, because there's one thing I really want to see. Again, it also depends on what runway you take off from. If you take off on a 09, then there's no point sitting on the right hand side. But if you pass on 27, then I get a chance to look down on the air show, the Farnborough Air Show, and also a few other things to point out for as well on that departure. But I think for the most part, both the flights to Finland will be on the left hand side, flight away from Finland will be on the right hand side. Again, on the cheap £8 seats. So we'll be leaving Netherlands shortly. I'm gonna go guess JPW going to Stansted. Who's JPW? Again, one of those airlines, I'm not quite sure what they are. Alright, so now it's Spite. How many nautical miles is actually the distance? So 237 nautical miles away from Heathrow now. 020, 023, 025. That's time. Distance is 69 nautical miles between Spy and Gorlo. And then 19 between Gorlo and Refso. And then another 13 between Refso and Alcock before we descend. And then when we start our descent, that's when I'm going to have to be fully focused on my comms. As was my approach, because again, while it's a nice approach into Heathrow, depending on how busy it is, will also determine on how fast I'm going to have to descend and approach. If I can try and space myself out between them, although I will make sure that there's like a gap in the approaching and a gap in the landing at that time. Something that can easily be managed just by talking to other pilots and not having arguments on chat like the guys at Schiphol did, which just turned into a bit of a war between the pilots, depending on who's landing, who's on the ground, and pick a side kind of thing. That was quite funny, I'm not going to lie. Sorry for the guys at Schiphol, but that was funny. Right, so one last look at the continental Europe. I mean, the ground is so very different to Finland in the Nordics. Here it's a bit more flat land, field, few cities, compared to just forest and countryside for basically the entire area. Not as a nice look. Well, it's still quite fascinating to look at, like all the canals, all the rivers and whatnot around us. But it's not like the other places where it's literally just like fields and water, like just islands everywhere kind of thing. That was fascinating. Here it's a bit more like little down below. You have stuff to look at, but it's something I've seen so many times now over different sims. It's kind of like not boring, but you know what I mean. It's something I've just seen so much. And you have Schiphol down there where all hell broke loose just a couple of minutes ago. That's going to be hilarious. I really wish I was in FSX and I could just like watch what was going on down there. Two aircraft coming to land at the same time. One on the grass, as it looks like it. But that's something unfortunately I have missed. So Gorlo's coming up. I will now set this to actually, yeah, how low do we need to descend before landing? 3,000, 2,500. Yeah, so if we land at descend to 2,500. Co-pilot can set that. And then once we're at the top of the descent, just got to push the button down. Sorry, announce on the comms that I'm descending, then push the button down, and then we start descent into Heathrow. Rip. Sir, could you please state your speed and altitude? It's an American guy. Altitude. Altitude spelled with A-L-T-I, as opposed to I-L-T-E. A-L-T-E, sorry. Yeah, that guy was trying a private message, sent it out across comms. like I said, in that sim, you can have a bit of a laugh. I mean, there are some that prefer like that sim is like meant to be a 100% serious kind of community, but you can have the odd laugh. No one's gonna have a go at you for it because at the end of the day, I mean, yes, we're trying to achieve realism, but it's a simulator today. It's a game, so there's gonna be an odd laugh here and there. Nothing too like stupid though, and yeah, it's like you can make the odd comment. No one's gonna cry over it. So in a moment we'll start our descent, as we're now getting quite close to our TOD. I mean, yeah, still a few minutes to go, but not too long now. There you go, another quick jump there from the XP Realistic Pro. The jumps aren't too annoying as such, but they can be a little bit repetitive at times. Almost looks like I'm making like random jump cuts in the middle of a stream as well. Like, come on, guys. I'll probably put it into like a bug report or something, just quickly let the guys know. But as an add-on, I don't think it's getting too much developments at the moment. It has a few, like tweaks and updates going into it, but not so many now these days. A little bit of turbulence. Going to turn the seatbelt sign on just whilst it picks up a bit. Oops, not that one. That's the smoking sign. So I definitely don't want to turn off. But yeah, we'll see if I'll start shaking a little bit more. Seatbelt sign will come on. And like I said, shortly we'll start our descent into Heathrow. So, out of the Netherlands. And soon on our descent. Bit of a weird sound to the engines as well from this angle. So it's trying to play its file, but just about not existing kind of thing. Yeah, unfortunately no engine heat effects. That's down to the fact that my settings are set to medium, so it's to high, and therefore they just don't render this this graphic setting. I'll take off seatbelt sign again one more time. Though it won't be too long again until I turn it back on, about 50 nautical miles until top of descent. In fact, standing back to 40, and I just noticed there's traffic aircraft as well coming in the distance. Again on the right hand side, although this time no clouds to worry about. We may get a better chance of seeing them this time, at least a bit further out. About 20 nautical miles out to the right. And then a little closer, I'll go over to the right hand side window and have a spot for them. And again, they're a little bit lower than me, but not by much. As you can see, Manchester traffic now at the moment, so definitely getting some decent coverage, I guess, at this point. Right, can we spot the traffic? Probably not, 'cause they're a little bit further away. I mean, the Korean Airlines one was a bit hard to spot. This one, ever so slightly further. Not from the cockpit, I can't. From the cabin as well. Nope, not really going to see this one. That's fine. There you go, so top of descent. It says the waypoint coming up now, and the top descent is actually on top of it, fair enough. So refso, down to Argo K, Alcock, sorry, Alcock OK, Alcock. How am I pronouncing that? Alcock or Alkok or Alk OK? How am I pronouncing that one? Either way, top descent is right on top of it. And therefore, when I am there, just press the button. And then we'll start our descent. so close yet so far. Again, the cruise is flight a lot longer than the first one. Heading to Helsinki earlier in the week. I think it was last Saturday actually. So yeah, this flight definitely will have felt a little longer. So when coming into land, finally means I've got something to actually do. Okay, mess around with the yoke, make sure my altitude's set, and of course the clouds are coming just when I'm about to descend, meaning my visibility will start to drop down a bit. Not by much, must say, because the visibility is still at plus 10 nautical miles. But yeah, of course the clouds would have to come in right when I was on my descent, this top of descent right now. There you go, that's what I want. That's what I want. You actually see the UK in the distance as well, just coming in. Likewise with ortho tiles as well, so the VFR ground scenery. Hopefully the quality of that, because again it's not the highest quality scenery in the world, having to do it from a high LOD radius with a very low texture setting. So it won't look the best from low altitude, but hopefully while I'm still up high, over London, we'll get a chance to actually look down below. Because the Big and One Echo approach does bring me in from the northeast London, and then over the Thames do then actually line up the runway to land, so plenty to look at. Just hope you get to see it. Because don't forget, the actual default X-Plane now has proper London landmarks, something that was featured in the Flight Sim show last year, if you guys remember that. And yeah, something that now features, and it is also on top of the ortho tiles, so something that we will also get to see. Hoping that we are on the right path. And of course my settings have to be high enough to see them as well, which I'm pretty sure they will be. Nothing too low for me. So you get stuff like Big Ben, Tower Bridge, like the London Eye, the Shards, all that kind of stuff you will get to see. Right, so now basically at our top of descent. ETA 20 minutes plus actually, yeah, it depends on our airspeed really, but yeah, 20 minutes. So when we do reach the next waypoint, I'll now start announcing. So, e.g., so descending from flight level 360 for Echo Golf Lima Lima, expecting runway 27 left. On the Big One Echo. The biggie approach, I love that. Will be there. Will be on final in 20 minutes. So now at Alcock, our actual descent's now changed down to Salman for some reason, but I will start our descent. At least in a moment I will. Again, I don't want to go... I don't want to descend too late, where it's now going to... I mean, I have to go into a holding pattern over Heathrow, which is what I did over Helsinki. As looking back onto it, for some reason my descent was starting a lot later than it should have been, which is why I had to go around one time. But over Heathrow, going on a holding pattern, while it's something that does happen when it's like too many aircraft to manage, it's not something I want to go into too much right now. So aircraft will now start shallow descents, and then we'll start going to a proper descent once we are over the next waypoints. There we go. So, yeah, not much traffic talking on right now, which means I'll assume Heathrow is not so busy right now. So, yeah, monitoring chat is something I will be doing constantly over the next couple of minutes. And there goes for left hand coming up over Logan. And then we'll soon be on the actual star itself. There you go, the aircraft is now starting to push down a little bit more. Trying to increase its descent rates. I'm guessing just so it doesn't like miss the altitude needs to be at Logan, which is how much? 33,400. So actually it's not too bad. 6,000 feet per minute descent, it's quite heavy that. But if it wants to be at 334... there's a bit of a drop, I have to say. Ah, 318 it wants to be at instead. So there we go, the aircraft will now start to shallow out a bit more. Obviously the computer's decided something a bit different to what I can see on the display itself. It should be a little more relaxed now at this point. There you go, our first of the UK there, while the clouds decide on what they're trying to do, if they want to exist or not. Oh yeah, got the wind farm down there as well. Actually, didn't realise that MechPlay modelled that. The wind farm's just off the coast of Essex. It's good to know explains actually going to that level of detail then. So, soon over the mainland UK. As we continue our approach into Heathrow Airport. It's Manchester traffic. Yeah, Heathrow traffic's been quiet for a little while now. Here we go. So you can now see the VFR scenery in action down below, and that's what I'm hoping will give us a very nice view of the Heathrow approach. Cool, so from this point on, I now need to be totally focused on what I'm doing. That's a bit of an interesting one. I guess that's the start of the start. So if I set that now to approach phase, 1014 on the altimeter. Probably again a little high for that, but no one's going to complain. So it's the biggie. runway 27. It's going to be this again. 27 left. Echo Golf. Lima Lima. Traffic descending from flight level 0 via Big E, flight left runway 27 left. Will be behind CLU, Charlie Lima. Cool. Right, so there are 3 of us now on the same approach. Uh, 20 NF, I can see, is starting descent. As for what was that thing again? Man, I've forgotten his flight number, his call sign. Let's just say that. What was it again? CLU, Charlie Lima uniform. I'll try to remember that now from now on. About to pass through 10,000 anyway. At this moment, it's passing through 288. Roger that. I'm at flight level 10. Assuming there are no other aircraft on approach, I am number 1. Cool, so I am number 1 for landing. So it's good to make sure about that. And so there we go. As we now descend over London, 10,000, landing lights come on. And in a moment, just going to take in the beautiful scenery for a second. I'll then start my landing config. So, braking set to... Whoops. I'm not even sure what that is. Anti-skids, disable, fair enough. So yeah, that sets to medium. Spoilers set. Cabin check, although they'll probably want me to do it again just before I come into land. And then flaps will then also start to lower in a moment. See a little bit of a descent after the big imp, but once we do arrive, then we'll start our full final landing. So yeah, not too far left to go, and hopefully landing itself should be quite interesting as well. Oh, and there's a London City traffic as well, 50 southeast, so try and keep an eye out for him as well, although I've got a feeling he won't be any issue for me. Actually, what's his flight level? Flight level, leaving 130 to 110, so he's a little bit above me. Although coming into city, so he's going to have a bit of a steep descent as well once he starts heading on to final. Slight moments of lag there. Sim froze for a second, but hopefully it's not too much an issue now. As long as I'm making at least 20 FPS, which I'm quite obviously doing so, means I can just come into land no problem. ET8, sorry, ET8. ETA 7 minutes. 7 minutes till touchdown. And of course the cloud cover goes and picks up straight away as well. Make sure the GPWS is inhibited, just in case. Systems I'll keep, yeah, all inhibited. That way we don't have any input from the aircraft. And on final. Otherwise, winds do look desirable for me at the moment. They're not too bad. And I think this will concur. Landing speed at 134. Doing quite good for landing then, actually. Means I can come in nice and slow. Looking good. Man, just looking out at the scenery below, it looks really good with although unfortunately, basically the reason why no sim has like worldwide VFR scenery is down to the fact that A, not everywhere in the world has VFR scenery to go. If you go to like Google Images, kind of Google Maps, even Google Earth, not all of the world is covered in VFR scenery. It's a big an airport below us actually. And number 2 is down to the fact that the file size would be massive. Like there is no way any system in this day and age will be able to hold all the system space for that. There you go, traffic takeoff 27 right. That's good. It means he's not going to be on the same runway as I am when I'm landing. But I assume he's been keeping an eye out on the chat. That and is takeoff at the moment right now for this airport. So we have a right turn coming up shortly. There we go. And that will have us aligned with Heathrow Airport once we get onto the second turn. Just look at the scenery now below. I mean, it's not the highest resolution anymore because we are starting to get even lower. But it still does look pretty good, I have to say. Here we go. Now on final for runway 27 left. Golf Lima. Whoops. Right, so we've got that one last turn coming up very shortly. And then that will line us up for the runway. Yep, nice and straight in. So we're cloud surfing at this point. Cabin crew will be seated for landing. That's always fine. Taxiing runway 27 right. That's fine. And then got an aircraft at Gatwick who we don't need to contact at the moment. That one is a Thompson. Of course, the aircraft will now level off here. And Yep, 2,500 is where the aircraft will level off. And where I'll then take manual control and I do come into land. So also we'll need to hit the localizer in a moment. Flaps down to 1. Now on final. Localizer on. Uh, 27 left. Although, not sure why an easy jet needs Heathrow. Click on approach, and that'll start bringing the aircraft down once we are within the reach of the glide slope, which actually is now. So yeah, once we're out of the clouds at 1,000, we'll take manual control. There we go. Gear down. Flaps 2.
2,000.
And in a moment we'll go for flaps 3 once we slow down enough. Flaps 3, cabin check. Landing config completed. Landing checklist even. Passing through 1,000 in a moment. We'll now take auto control, manual control even. There we go. Here with a messy last bit of approach, but there you go. Now in manual control, runway is in sight. A little bit of a crosswinds, nothing too major though. Also a little low on the glide slope, there we go. Right, all looking good. For those on the Myrtle Avenue plane spotting area, I'm one for you. Myrtle Avenue being like a famous road within Heathrow where when planes land on 27 left, you get to basically see them all quite low down.
500.
Looking good.
300.
Committed.
100. 50. 40. 30. Retard. Check.
226. Reverse thrust cuts. Let's try and get off the runway. Because stopping on the live runway isn't exactly the best thing to do, ever. Yeah, as soon as we clear the runway, I'll announce that we are clear of it, and then the aircraft behind us will be able to land himself. Brakes are hot, that is fine. Nice to hold here. Echo Golf Lima traffic. We are clear of runway 27 left. Have a nice landing. Who's one's just arriving on the end of the runway? Take off 27 left. Oh, sheesh, someone took off on 27 left. Right, okay. Right, that's fine. APU will now turn on. Landing lights come off. Taxi lights on. And we are now taxiing to 27 left. Right, so yeah, more than acceptable landing for me. Again, in the A319 aircraft I'm used to, and X-Plane not a simulator I'm using a lot, at least all the time. So yeah, to get this sort of landing, I can't really complain. I'm quite happy with it. So we'll taxi to the gates, over in Terminal 3, and then bring to an end what's been a fairly decent flight. I can't complain about this one. Woo! Not sure what that was about. I didn't even touch the rudder there. That's quite concerning actually as to why the aircraft just violently shot to the right. I'm guessing the wind has something to do with it, so I'll be very cautious now this rest of the taxi. But yeah, again, people on the right hand side get to see all the terminal. People on the left, just a runway with aircraft that will be landing way behind us. So another reason as to why I'd be taking on a seat on the right hand side for this flight. Now as to where we're going to park, crying out loud, this thing really is pushing itself to the right. Yeah, that's not really touching the rudder. The aircraft does sometimes just force itself to the sides. The winds are not so desirable for us today. I'm quite surprised that I'm actually getting like this much force against the controls. So make a right here. And then another right. And then that will be at the end of our flights for today. Probably the wrong type of gate for this aeroplane, but my knowledge of Heathrow ain't exactly great. Should be alright. And halt. Cool, parking brake set. Engines off. APU on. Welcome to Heathrow. Lighting can be set as required, so that comes off. Off, off, and yeah, like I said, welcome to Heathrow. A fairly happy flight, that one. I can't complain really. As for the gates, yeah, A319 can stop here, so I'm not complaining. Although I should be parked maybe over there, just in front of us. So Again, not the straightest park in the world either, but I'm not going to complain. And yeah, at this point, now arrived in the UK at, what time actually is it? It's good to know. 7:55, it's about 10 minutes late, at least 10 minutes from landing. GPU, external power, I will now set as well. So, ToLiss open ICS screen, external power on, and activate that so that the APU can now come off. And there we have it. Our flights from Helsinki, Vantaa to London Heathrow. So for me, it'll either be a ride home, see my parents are in, or the Piccadilly line train home. And like I said, I've got a bit of a course tomorrow which I've got to go through. And that's something I can look into later. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little live stream video thing. Again, must point out this is pre-recorded. And that's in reality I have to do an A320 as opposed to an A319. And so that means my runways may be slightly off, the weather's slightly off as well, and that's about it really. But for the most part, like I said, I've got the ToLiss rather than the flight factor. I'm going to use what I have. So yeah, like I said, hope you guys enjoyed this live stream video thing. Leave a like if you did, do subscribe. Oh, actually no, I'm not. I'm not going to end this yet because you guys want the replay. I've just remembered that. Right, let me double check my VATSIM if Vantaa I actually concluded this flight. Almost forgot the replay. I know you guys love replaying this sim. Alright, make sure my Vantaa has concluded the flight. Remember, it's like every 10 minutes it does it. And if it has, then I'll be able to show you the replay and disconnect from VATSIM, because I do quite like to get this all finalised. Is that me? I don't think so. Actually, yes it is. Cool. BAW 795. So if it says I've landed, taxiing to gates, all looks good. I can now disconnect from VATSIM. So X-Walk box disconnects. Disconnected. Go through the replay modes. And yeah, go watch my landing from all different angles. In fact, let me quickly close the exits as well from the ToLiss plugin. So, ToLiss, ICS screen. I'm never going to be able to say that quickly. The ISCS screen. Close all exits. Make sure they're closed. And then we'll go to the replay. And then I'll end the live stream there. So, let's go for view toggle replay modes. I want myself on final, not just there. It's a little high. There we go. Exit not quite closed, but from this side it's fine. So the approach itself is fairly stable, can't complain, for a slight crosswind as well. And this not being my go-to aircraft, the actual approach itself I'm not going to have too issue with. Nice and simple. Ooh, must do the Middle Avenue view as well actually for this one. There you go, nice and slow, nice and simple. Here comes the flare. And there you go, a little bit on the hefty side, but for the most part, that's a successful landing. Not one I'm going to complain about really. Now I want to know, is that the reflections from where the aircraft actually is parked? There you go. This is the bit where I've stopped on the runway then, by accident. Should not have done that. The aircraft will then go in a moment. There you go. Yeah, that's a reflection from the parking. Must point that out. Cool, so let's go from the interior view. Once the exits do close. What's that all about? Sim speeds. What's that? Sim speeds. Never seen that before. That's ground speed, that I do know. How odd. Anyways, interior view. So I'll go from the right hand side, which will be where I'm sitting. Although hopefully when I'm landing in Heathrow, I won't be like blind to the point that that's what the ground looks like for me. Again, if I can increase my X-plane texture quality, then I will do. But it's not too terrible at this time. I mean, from altitude it looks fine. Must point that out. I mean, you saw it from altitude. It looks great. From me low down, I'm not going to have too many hissy fits over it. So, almost down. There's the maintenance terminal distance over there, round about the below, car park, and then into Heathrow Airport. Not terrible, not terrible at all. And then one last one. Got to do it from Myrtle Avenue. So if we bring the aircraft up to the final, not that long. That's over London. Ooh, actually, yeah, we'll actually get to see London as well. That's the one thing I do want to have a quick look at. So, moment to step the clouds. You can see the back of the Thames, but the actual bit I wanted to see, which is the city of London, unfortunately, that was all missed. That's a shame, but we got to see a little bit of this area, and there goes the Thames as it curls around again. So, Myrtle Avenue. Let's game sweetly freeze. Get ourselves to Heathrow Airport before the aircraft does. And that was just me sorting out the flaps, ready for landing. I guess the quieter it is, the more chance I get to see it as well when I do find the actual road itself. I mean, there's Myrtle Avenue, and then you've also got the little bit just in front of it, which is like where all the landing lights are and whatnot. So if I can try and spot the avenue, which I can see. Ooh, Sim's frozen. Oh, has it crashed? If it's crashed, then I've got to force the stream to end here. What's going on? Why has X-Plane done this to me? I mean, X-Plane's not exactly... Oh, yep. And that's gone. Cool. Well, that happened. And there you go. Access Sims failed. Put my email address in comments. I'll do that in a moment. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed the live... There you go. You can now see the screen. Hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. Leave a like if you did. Do subscribe. Unfortunately, you get to see the Myrtle Avenue bit, but you got to see everything else. That's what matters. And then, yeah, if you guys enjoyed, leave a like if you did. Do subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.